Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the performance of the Strength Trunks and My unit in the Cell Max event after their Extreme Z Awakening. Now, full disclaimer, as always with these videos guys, basically it's incredibly tough, the Cell Max event. You know, it's not a easy event. You need to have units that have high levels of evasion, or have high levels of damage reduction and guard, or sometimes both, or at least a combination of two of the units or the effects. So basically it is a very tough event. It's not the event I would use to measure every single unit, but it is always fun to see just how well a unit does in one of the hardest, if not the hardest event in the game. Now, the Strength Trunks and My recently got their EZA, and basically they are a time traveler lead of 150%. They also greatly raise defense for 1 turn on their 12 key and on their 18 key, and they also now have attack and defense of 70% with an additional 20% attack and defense up to 140% in total per time traveler's category ally on the team, alongside also giving superclass allies attack and defense of 30%, and they have an additional key +6 and a high chance of evading the enemy's attack, which is pretty good. So yeah, pretty nice stuff, to be honest with you. Obviously, unfortunately, this cell, or the specific cell, is not actually a Future Saga category unit, and this does to a certain extent impact, unfortunately, them quite severely, because if he was a Future Saga unit, you know, their evasion would kick in, and it would genuinely be a pretty good mechanic that would enable them to have a pretty decent time and be able to obviously take out Cell Max and just in general perform pretty well. But without it, they do kind of lack anything really against Cell Max. It's not that they're bad, it's just that quite frankly their defense, at least with this level of dupes in them, doesn't really get to the point where they can handle Cell Max. It's just one of those things. They also don't have a great pairing partner that gives them both of their crucial links, which is called Judgment and of course also Brainiac. So both of those are pretty crucial to having a pretty good time against Cell Max. So yeah, obviously all relatively important stuff. Obviously, again, you know, it is just one of those things. Not every unit can have absolutely everything they need against Cell Max, but in general it does help, and they unfortunately don't have it. But obviously they're still a pretty good unit. It's just fun to see how well they do. But yeah, they do lack some of the crucial elements that would make them do well against Cell Max. Now you need around 620 or so thousand, I believe, to tank attacks. So you need around 620,000 raw defense to tank attacks type neutral. They just don't get there. Even with Brainiac's and Cold Judgment active, I think this unit with the dupes that I have in them would only be able to get to around just over 400, which I think you know, isn't bad, like per se. I don't think it's like, you know, like I said, it's not bad in any way, shape or form. But yeah, it is still definitely, how can I say, it is still definitely a tough time. You know, they don't necessarily have, unfortunately, the craziest kit to handle these type of situations. Again, it doesn't mean that they're bad, it doesn't mean that they suck, it doesn't mean that they're like the worst unit ever. It just means that they don't excel in this specific event. We are missing a Future Saga or a Time Travelers category unit here, so we are slightly down on the defense. But yeah, in general I would say it's probably probably not the greatest unit to run this event with. I think, you know, if you are running a Time Travelers team and you just want them to float for the support, yeah, I think if you have a Rainbow version or a 2-dupe version like mine, and you can at least get Brainiacs or Core Judgment active, I think they should be able to tank, or at least, when I say tank, I mean not get you insta-killed by taking one hit. But yeah, I think in general, you know, we do have to kind of think a little bit about how, you know, they are built as a unit. But overall, I still think, you know, they're a lot of fun. I think the big problem with them is they are coming out simultaneously with Tsubasa and Goku Rose, who, you know, can tank Cell Max to single digits. So it kind of just feels like a big drop off between the two units, which I think not a lot of people appreciate in general. I think if they had Easy Aid into Mai, or AGL Trunks in Mai, or something like that at this time, I think then you would see like greater appreciation for these Strength Trunks in Mai. Alternatively, I think they could have expanded the Evasion mechanic, which would have helped. But yeah, in general, you know, I still think they are good units. I just think they're not good enough to be a significant component of a Cell Max based team, at least, yeah, on the surface level. But yeah, honestly speaking, not like a major train smash, and I still am quite happy with like their overall performance in a lot of these events. Like I say, it's not always about being absolutely dominant. Sometimes it's just about being a reliable unit, and their support does help, so you can definitely run them as a floater if you are looking for someone to beef up the rest of your team. And Time Travelers / Future Saga is kind of one of these stronger teams right now, with quite a few strong int options in int LR Zamasu, or in the int LR Vegeta and Trunks. So there's just, yeah, a lot of decent options to run on that team, and by running these guys on that team, you could get some decent support for those units. And maybe, just maybe, these guys will only take one attack in whatever slot you put them in, and so they should be fine. But yeah, we're going to just take a look at how they tank here. They are going to get hit by a super attack pretty much straight up, but in reality, they just, yeah, they are unfortunate that they're just not there at that level. But overall, they're still a lot of fun, and I think it's always interesting to see how units tank or do in the Cell Max event in general. But yeah, to talk about their position, I think at best, with a Rainbow dupe that's level 10 links and everything, I think they are at best a you know, floating support based unit. I would say that is fairly good, and where they probably are. But that's it from me. Bye.